Hello there, and welcome again to my channel. I hope your week's been going great and that life generally is working out perfectly well for you. If you're just joining me for the first time, my name is Mary, and I like to do this every now and then get in front of a camera and talk about things that have to do with improving the lives of other people. And if you've been checking out my videos so far, I hope that every little bit of insight I've shared has come in handy one way or another. So, I welcome you to another episode where we learn how to thrive, how to survive through workplace dynamics in a manner that doesn't leave us clinging for life, in the workplace environment. So, that's it. Let's begin. So you'd recall how I said that some of the things we'll be talking about here, or a lot of them actually, I'd be drawing it from my fifth and latest book. That's the one I titled 21 Days of Worth. So I'm going to be doing that this morning, and I'm going to be borrowing from the very first chapter where it says, let's do God, let's do gratitude. However, I just want to shed a bit more light on the issue or the meaning of workplace dynamics so that I can be sure we're on the same page. Sometimes people misunderstand. So, in a very simplified manner, when I mention workplace dynamics, I'm referring to the relationships occurring at work, really just how do I put it now, the way that people interact with one another, behavioral patterns at work, and I'm very I'm specifically targeting the ones that what's the word can help us be better, or those ones that we find draining from time to time. Okay, and I'm drawing this from a lot of the experiences I've had personally, and of course from other people. It's not news that a lot of people go through a lot of trauma at work. There's often that one colleague or that boss or that somebody who's trying to make your life hard, or there's just something you're struggling to live through. So we're going to be picking those things one after the other. So when I say workplace dynamics, I'm really just talking about those different relationships at work and how to ensure that they all just work for your good and help improve your productivity as opposed to leaving you traumatized again in the workplace environment. Okay, so that's not about that. Now, for today, let's do God, let's do gratitude. I'm going to be taking the gratitude angle first of all. What are we talking about when we say gratitude? Of course, the habit or the art of being grateful. Now, you want to ask, what exactly should I be grateful for, and how is that supposed to impact my life at work or my relationships at work? So, I'm going to give you a few things that you can be grateful for despite whatever kind of problem you're going through at work. First of all, the most obvious one, life. The fact that you're alive means you get to try again tomorrow. You get to patch things up. You get to, what's the word, do better for yourself in that workplace environment and generally in your life. So sometimes try to focus on the fact that you're alive. So it's really not over. The second thing I really want you to be grateful for is the fact that you have a job. Sometimes it's so easy to focus on the negatives. It's so easy to focus on the bad things. It's so easy to focus on what is troubling you at work that we tend to forget the 10,000 plus others out there who do not have any reasonable job that they do, or who are really just in worse situations than you are right now. So this is happening at work, that's happening at work, but focus on what's actually still working. The fact that you do have a job, you're not jobless. So that's something you might want to be grateful for, especially if you are in today's Nigeria. And of course, finally, I also want you to be grateful for your little joys, your little wins. In that workplace environment, I'm pretty sure a few things have worked out for you. I'm pretty sure there are some people that add to your smile every day. There's just some things that you've been able to do successfully. Hold on to them. I call them my, how do I put it? There's a way I usually I like to say those things are my little joys, and you should see the way I hold on to them. They're like my consolation at work or something. But those tiny little joys, I want you to hold on to them. So what I'm pretty much saying here is focus on what's working as opposed to what isn't working. So these are just three things I want you to be grateful for daily, because with time they're going to be, what's the word, reflecting on your relationships at work. Now, why am I asking you to do gratitude? The one big reason is the fact that It reprogram, or I can also use the word, it rewires your mind to focus on the things that are working. It's much more easier to take on problems, to take on issues with co-workers when it's coming from a place of gratitude. But if your mind is already cluttered with every single thing that isn't working, trust me, it's going to be hard. So this is one of the reasons, this is one big major reason why you want to hold on to gratitude. Okay, so that's that. Let's do gratitude in the workplace environment. So we have a shift in focus from all the troubles, from all the things that aren't working, to the things that are actually working. Now the second part does say, let's do God. On a much simpler level, bringing in the God factor can be a cheat code, and I'll tell you why. It's a cheat code because you're not omniscient, but you have a God that's omniscient, that knows everything that happens behind your back, that knows what it is you need to do, that knows what it is you do not need to do, that knows those you need to gravitate towards and those you need to run from. You know how okay, not just me, a lot of people have told us, I've said this before, that not everybody at work is your friend. You know how that's a real fact, right? But you do not know this because you don't know everybody and you don't know what's going on their minds. But then you've got a God that knows it all. So yeah, God can be your cheat code. Now, why do God? First of all, I'll give you a list of things. He shows you the way out when things get, tough and hurry. You really need God. I'm not saying that your skills here are irrelevant. I'm not saying that if you've not trained well for that position or you don't have the necessary qualification, God is just going to swoop in and swoop in and make everything perfect. Of course not. I'm not training with a place of skills. I'm not training with a place of experience. I'm just saying there is a higher power that can give you a way better solution, such that people look at you and they're just like, how are you doing it exactly? Secondly, I find that God is a sure guide. Is somebody you can always go to and ask questions. How do I do this? Oh, maybe you've had trouble with your boss this time around and you just don't know how to navigate it. You don't know what to go to that boss and say. You don't know how to apologize. Or maybe you actually have apologized and it seems like nothing is working. Maybe there's that partner you have at work, somebody who's supposed to be working with you in the same department and things are just not working. You need to know how to go about this. And of course, there's many other things you can try, advice from people and others, but God is someone that can help you through it, especially if you don't like spreading your business all over the place in the office. Now, finally, He is a revealer of the things that you do not know you need. Mhm. Sometimes you're just at work minding your business. You don't know anything going on. Now, there's two different kinds of people I like to talk about in this particular section when I say God likes to, or God is able to reveal the things you do not know you need. Now, there's some people who masquerade as your friends. Some don't masquerade as your friends anyway. But this category of people are those who would cheat their way all the way to the top, lying about people, pulling them down in every other way, regardless that they're hurting the other person, as long as it brings them some kind of, what's the word, recognition or promotion. There's those kinds of people. There's also the other ones who are practicing something way much deeper. Have you ever heard of people hypnotizing their bosses, practicing all kinds of voodoo and all of that? Trust me, they exist. Those things are real. So, whichever one it is amongst those two people, maybe those that are just, physical, just go about lying and saying this employee did this when didn't do it, or is the other kinds of people who are into the deeper voodoo and all of that. God can see you through that. Remember, I mentioned you're not omniscient. You don't know what's going on in the office next to you. You don't know what somebody is saying about you to your boss. You don't know what somebody is practicing, which can affect you negatively. But you've got God who can reveal these things to you. Okay? So when I say let's do God, I'm not trying to overrate or overemphasize the God factor. I'm just telling you, you can take these issues to your Father who is in heaven. In a nutshell, you need God and you need Him to help you in the workplace environment. So that's that for today, guys. I'm not going to be talking beyond that. I'm trying to keep this as short as possible so you can quickly just button, whether you're in work or not, you button, check this out, and of course, grab what it is you can grab. So that's going to be it for today. I hope that you learned a thing or two. It's been fun. It's been enlightening doing this with you again. I hope that you continue to find new ways to be happy at work. I hope that you continue to fight for your happiness. I hope that 2026 continues to be a beautiful year for you. Until my next video, I'll see you when I see you.